guys, so what you see here is my Astro-Physics Mach 2 mount, and attached to it is the Astro-Physics Right-Angle Polar Scope. And anybody that's got the Mach 2 mount knows that that attaches to the outside like you see here on the side, and it's used to, along with an app, to locate Polaris on a reticle inside of it. And I came up with an idea to get it easier to aim at Polaris. So now the issue arises when you're looking down in here and you kind of sight across this to get it to Polaris, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to do. So I thought if I could take a laser and put it parallel to the optical tube of this right-angle polar scope, that should get me with Polaris right in the field of view. So I ended up buying this laser, and it's the Zevo BTG-2S-P-XT. So now the next issue became, how do I have this so that I know it's parallel, keeping this pretty much close to that axis of the tube on the polar scope. So my first thought was to use V-blocks like you use in machining. I have various different sizes, and one V would go on here, the other one would come out, and you'd put your laser on that. But they're somewhat heavy, even the small ones, and they're kind of cumbersome. So I went on to Google and I just typed in aluminum V-blocks, and one of the things I saw was this item. But I thought, well, that's not going to work because that's not customary to what I'm thinking of, and I knew that it'd make aluminum ones really, but I wanted to see. So I revisited the idea a few days later, and I looked at this and I said, you know what, this is going to work perfect. So I went ahead and ordered this from Amazon. It's really a nice unit. In here you see it at Amazon's site. This is really nice. I'm going to order me another one to have at my drill press, and just keep this one for use with the polar scope. So the way this would work is this deep V would go up against the tube of the polar scope, and then I would take the laser and set it right here. So it would be something like this. This would go up against the polar scope tube, and then the laser sits right on top, now keeping everything parallel with the optical axis of the polar scope. So here you see that I've attached it with the rubber band. It's number 64, just wrapped around twice, and it works great. It holds it on there. It's simple, and no tools required. Can't be any easier than that. Here you see that I've attached on this V up here opposite this V, I've attached the laser, and just pick up the rubber band, slide it in there, and it holds it great. Can't really go anywhere. So as I'm waiting for darkness, once I turn on that laser, what I'll do is I'll loosen up the altitude locking knobs, and then turn the altitude, so turn both in conjunction with each other until that laser is pointing to Polaris. Then I'll lock it down. But before I lock it down, I'm going to take a, well, I actually don't want to lock it down. I'll take a look into the Polar Scope and position Polaris where it should be as per the app. But this test tonight is going to be to make sure, which it should be, is that that laser is going to, when I move it around visually and look up in the sky, it should be in the Polar Scope. And then if I need to tweak it, I'll tweak it. Obviously, I'll have to. But this will aid me in getting the setup very quick. So if I go to a latitude that's 20 degrees north, 30, 35, I can just move this rapidly until I get it to where it needs to be. Alright guys, this is perfect. Put my hand in the beam. That's going up as I stand here. I just move the right ascension and the altitude and azimuth until that beam, the beam from the laser points to the Polaris. Then when I look in here, it's almost centered. Now all I've got to do is take, as per the app, put Polaris in the proper part of the circle that it belongs in, and we're good to go. I like this. It's going to work out very well. And it aids because it's much quicker. I don't have to screw around, especially when I change a latitude or location. I can put it right there. I know it's there. Do my adjustment. The mount is now polar aligned.